Um, Obviously, I think that iZombie 2 would be redundant and unnecessary. You nailed it the first time, but have you thought about maybe taking another classic monster and putting that Hugh Howey spin on it?
Yeah, actually, I have a vampire book that I started years ago that I keep playing with, and I think it's the best concept for a vampire book, and I'm dying to finish it one day. But it's about a guy who's on the West Coast, and he's a vampire living with another vampire, and he's living through the rise of vampire book culture and all the Twilight. There's a fictional author in the book that has written the Twilight of this world, and everyone's just pretending to be vampires, and they think being vampires are so glamorous, and the reality of being a vampire is just terrible. It's just like hates that he's a vampire, and he's so sick of this, and he's decided he's going to travel to the East Coast where this author is going to be on tour and find her and murder her to put an end to this like vampire fascination. And he's got to travel only at night, so he's using this very complex bus route that he's mapped out to get there. And the first bus stop he goes to, he falls in with this, there's this cute girl there, and it turns out she's like one of the number one fans of this. She's part of this whole, like, she's also, riding buses to get to the book tour. And so he kind of gets this crush on someone who loves this culture. And so it's a hero's journey where by the time he gets there, he may or may not actually kill this author that his whole life he's just dreamed about, and might be for this girl. And what he does when he gets there will be I don't want to ruin the end, but if I ever write it. But yeah, so
I'll sit her down and explain how things actually work and get a better edition of the next book.
my take on a vampire novel would be to write a vampire novel about a vampire who's totally sick of vampire novels.
I have a vampire story. Since we're sharing, I guess I think it's better that I never actually write it, because the idea is it's about a writer who's been around for 200 years working on his novel idea, and every night he gets high with his buddies and hangs out, and next day he gets up, maybe I'm going to write it, and he's never going to write it. It's going to be 1,000 years, and I don't know how you put that into a story form. I just love the idea of, one, the writer that has eternity and can't get their book done, and two, not actually writing the story about the writer that can't get the book done.
I think what you should do is write, make him even older, make him several hundred years old, and have the book mostly be first chapters of all the books that he started over the years, and then break into like a little bit of journaling about, like, he starts writing this and you're like, it's this like Victorian age vampire novel because he's living in those times, and then it just goes into him writing about his life, and like, I'll never write this, I'm terrible and I suck at writing. And then the next chapter is the start of his World War II experience. Like,